Hey everyone, welcome back. So I hope you had a great weekend. Obviously, today's Monday. Miners had a pretty good day. Bitcoin had a pretty good day as well. Things are starting to kind of look up a little bit. So we'll see how things play out. Got a couple stories for you today. We'll also look at the miners, see how they did today. We'll take a look at any insider trading activity. There's a couple of them that have some new postings, so we'll take a look at that. And then we'll look at the stories, obviously, into it as well. So let's follow along. And as always, not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research. Don't fall for scams. Spam posts get reported and deleted, and then the list below is what I'm invested in, whether it's coins or shares, for your reference there. All right, so let's take a look at Bitcoin here really quick. So Bitcoin is up to 38,356. It has obviously had a nice, basically 24 hours where we wicked down quite a bit, then we came back up. We're still above our now basically support of 37,000 and a half. We have touched it obviously 3 times here. Once going above it, so that's a little concerning. Hoping we don't touch it any more times, because I think the more times we touch it, the more likely that we are to go below it. So we want to see nice candles going up above it and staying above it, and possibly testing the 20-day moving average here in the red, which is around 39,360. If we can get past that, then our next resistance is going to be at 40,500 or 40,600, right around there. We'll see how that plays out. But on a previous video that I did, whether it was, I can't remember if it was Saturday or Friday, on the 1 hour chart, if we look at it here, let's take a look back here. Let me see, get rid of the daily lines. There we go. So here, I looked at the RSI, and the RSI was flat from basically, this was the 28th of January through the 29th of January here on the 1 hour chart. Was flat, but the price you could see has obviously increased. At that time I said this is a bullish sign for Bitcoin, and it did rally obviously up a little bit. It did eventually fall back down, but in the interim it has gained back up above it, which I think I gotta look some more into the RSI, but obviously the RSI has come down, and now we're trading kind of high on the RSI right now, and we're trading sideways in the hour chart here. So we'll see how this plays out. If we look at the RSI right now, last time we were at this point was right around here. We're obviously lower, so RSI is flat, but we've obviously come way back up. So that is looking good to me as well right now, at least for the time being. We'll see how this plays out. If we take a look at Ethereum, Ethereum has been pretty much copying Bitcoin here with a nice spike up in things. And we'll look at some stories here that are kind of telling that investors are starting to come back into the crypto space, which is good as well. So let's take a look at Bitcoin's hash rate. Let's reload this page. Okay, so we're seeing obviously the continuation of the uptrend here. As on the 7-day average chart, we are at 191 million right now. On the raw values, if we look at it, we've come up and we've kind of hit this kind of peak a little bit of 200 or so million, and then we're having a hard time getting above it. So we'll see how this plays out, but I'm sure it's going to continue up, so there's no worries there. Let's take a look at the miner revenue in USD. That has obviously continued to go down as the hash rate increases, and the price has been kind of flat for the last couple days and weeks and going down in price. So we want to see this start to reverse trend and start going back up, obviously, for the mining stocks that we are interested in. So let's take a look at the mining stocks right now. We'll take a look at any corporate actions that have taken place recently. So Argo had a great day today. It's up 6.38% to $1. Nice little bounce here. It is getting close to the 20-day moving average on the chart here, as we can see. We'll see if we can test it and get above it. RSI is still looking good, so no worries there. So we do have some, that's not really recent, but it's since from November of last year. A director sold, it looks like 40,000 shares at $1.77. And then Bitfarms, nice day today as well, up 9.25%. To $3.66. So Bitcoin was up like 2-3%, and you're seeing these miners now starting to rocket again as Bitcoin's price goes up, right? So we keep saying this, Bitcoin goes up 1x, these guys tend to go up 1.5, 2x from there, sometimes even higher, obviously, as we're seeing here. There is no insider activity posted for Bitfarms right now. It is still below the 20-day moving RSI. It has obviously been touching it here for a while. We'll see if we can start testing it a little bit and then going above it. We'll see how this plays out as well. Cleanspark was up really nice today. It was up 10.89% to 672. It is also getting close to the 20-day moving average here on the chart. RSI is still looking good right now. We're at 34. on it, and we do have some insider activity on it. So it looks like we had an officer possibly buy 3,000 shares at $9. Looks like it, share per price. So that looks like $9 on 112, and then we had the same officer buy 3.5 thousand shares at 465 on 111. I don't think the price went that. Yeah, if we look at it here, I don't know how we got $9 for it. Could have been stock options or something like that. Not sure on how that works out. And then we do have another officer buying 60,000. So this was probably a grant at zero price. So that was a grant. Another grant here as well on 1215. An officer also got 2,000 here at 465. These are all probably grants, I'm guessing. Let's take a look at Cores here really quick. Cores was up 11.57% on day 8 to 868 right now. It is now testing the 20-day moving average here on Cores. We'll see if it can muster the strength to get above it. No insider activity right now on them. Digihost was up nicely. Did okay. It was up 1.97% to 362. No recent insider activity on them. DMG was up also 1% to 44 cents right now, and we don't have any insider activity as well. Hive was up 6.42% to 199. It is also getting close to the 20-day moving average, so we'll see how this plays out. RSI is in the middle range, around 39 right now. And we do have director issuer get 50,000 shares at 205. And then prior to that was last year where some were sold 5,000 a piece here. And then somebody was granted also 25,000 shares. Taking a look at HUT. HUT was up 7.61% to 594. RSI is in the middle here, around 40 right now, so we're not overbought, not oversold right now. We don't have any new insider activity for them. Iris Energy was up huge today. It was up 19.73% to $13.17. Iris is doing really well. It obviously tested the 20-day moving average here, and it is above it. Iris obviously started trading on the NASDAQ in November, so we'll see how this all plays out. So it looks like it might have bottomed out at 855. It's still early, so we'll see how this all works with them. Mara was up 7.15% to 2354, and it is also getting close to testing that 20-day moving average here on the chart. The latest insider activity that we have is from beginning of last month, and it was 2.55 thousand shares, 2.35 thousand shares, 1.99 thousand shares, and what do we have here? 4.07 thousand shares. Prices of 32.89. So I'm not sure if those guys bought in at those prices or if they got stock options on it. But obviously if they bought in, they're obviously down on it right now, being where the price is at. Mawson was up 22.89% today to 569. Nice run up today. RSI is getting a little heated here on the chart to 51.12 right now. No recent corporate actions or insider activity right now. And then Riot was up 8.44% to 1594. And we do have some insider activity on them. So an officer got 42,000 shares, looks like, and somebody sold 12.6 thousand shares. And then we have another officer getting here 2.49 thousand shares, 2.49 minus 146 shares. Somebody sold, and then somebody got 42,000 shares and sold 12.6 thousand shares. So it looks like the same guy sold some and got some at the same time. Also bought got 2.49 thousand shares here. A lot of officers trading here or getting options in January, it looks like. All right, so overall, I mean, the miners did great. Obviously, Iris was up huge today, 19%. Mawson was up really nice too, 22.89 as well. So we'll see how this all plays out with Bitcoin obviously going up in price. And obviously, it's the end of the month right now. So the interesting part will be we can kind of calculate as far as what they possibly earned for January now that that's over with. So that'll be coming out probably later on this week. I'll do a video. See how they finished out after all of the miners provide their production updates for January. So we'll do that. So that'll be interesting to see. All right, let's get into the story here really quick, and then we'll call it a day. So president of El Salvador predicts gigantic price increase for Bitcoin. I think in due time it will happen, but here's what he had to say. There is not enough Bitcoin for global millionaires if each of them wants to own one, Buckle said. We've known this for a long time. Obviously, there's only a 21 million supply of Bitcoin. The president cited Bitcoin's scarcity case, emphasizing there are more than 50 million millionaires in the world, and there is not enough Bitcoin for if each of one of them wanted at least one BTC. No, so here's a quote from him, no enough for even half of them. A gigantic price increase is just a matter of time, Buchholz wrote. So I agree with that. There's 21 million, so if everybody wanted to own at least one, that's not going to happen. People are going to have to be happy with having at least maybe half of one, or a quarter, or 1/10, or they're going to have to start going into Satoshis, right? So as long as we continue to have adoption and everything else, I think this will play out very nicely for those of us that have been hodling for a long time. And even the newcomers that come in and hodl for a while will do really well with Bitcoin. All right, next is Bitcoin bargain. Investors put money into crypto funds for second straight week. We've seen this obviously with price appreciation in Bitcoin. So cryptocurrency funds attracted 19 million of new money last week, suggesting investors are cautiously adding to positions with prices depressed compared with year-end levels. That is true. So I think people are starting to buy the dip. We maybe bottomed out at the 32,000 mark that we saw earlier last week and into the previous week. Investors put money into cryptocurrency funds for a second straight week as the Bitcoin market stabilized following one of its worst ever starts to a year. Crypto funds saw inflow of 19 million during the 7 days through January 28th, according to a report Monday from the digital asset manager CoinShares. While the increase looks small relative to some of the 200 million plus weeks of inflows in 2021, the trend suggests investors are cautiously adding to positions as these depressed price levels. The CoinShares analyst wrote, investors put some 14 million into crypto funds during the prior week, reversing 5 straight weeks of redemptions that totaled 532 million. Ouch. So there were a lot of outflows, obviously, in the past prior weeks. Notably, some 22.1 million flowed into Bitcoin-focused funds last week, while Ethereum-focused funds suffered outflows of 26.8 million. Prices for Ethereum blockchain's native cryptocurrency Ether are down 27% this year to about 2,700. Ethereum continues to suffer from negative sentiment, CoinShares wrote. I wonder what the negative sentiment is. I think the only thing that we can possibly think of is the high gas fees and everything else on that. I think that's going to be a moot point when we switch to Ethereum 2.0, which is still maybe half a year, or a year and a half away. Just don't know on that one. So that is kind of interesting, and it's good to see that we're having obviously the inflows coming back. And then here is a wild and outlandish one. This is part of, I think, Kathy Wood's Big in 2022 report that she put out. So Kathy Wood, Ethereum will reach 20 trillion market cap by 2030. So if you believe in Ethereum and you're hodling it, you will do really well if this all plays out the way that Kathy Wood team sees it playing out. So despite the latest drop across the board for cryptocurrencies to start 2022, ARX Invest Kathy Wood is looking towards the long term and sees Ethereum reaching a 20 trillion market cap by the year of 2030, which is outstanding because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think gold has the 10 trillion market cap right now. The second leading cryptocurrency based on market cap has seen its price drop 30% so far in 2022. That comes after reaching its own all-time high in November along with Bitcoin. Nonetheless, it's important to see the forest through the trees in the long-term horizon. Ethereum's use case could continue to expand exponentially. The second largest cryptocurrency, according to ARK Invest, will meet or surpass 20 trillion market capitalization by 2030. A market insider report says each coin would be priced at around $170,000 to $180,000. Bitcoin isn't even anywhere near that right now, so it's kind of outstanding. Based on its current price of about 2,480, Ether would have to jump about 7,200% to meet the firm's targets. So very, very high top to reach, I think, for Ethereum. But we're still, 2030 is, 8 years away? So anything could happen in the 8 years. Obviously, we've seen Bitcoin go from 0.1 cents all the way up to 69,000 in about 10, 11 years. So it's possible. You know, especially if they go to Ethereum 2.0 and start being able to do more transactions, lower cost, everything else like that. It could possibly be at that price range. That's not out of the ballpark, I think. Same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is obviously upgrading, so we'll see how this all plays out. But it's interesting to know. So let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Obviously, not a lot of news going on, but a couple interesting things about Bitcoin and Ethereum as well. And it's good to see the miners obviously getting some love this week. They finished green for the most part last week. Some of the ones did not. I think some of the smaller guys are going to still be down. It's going to be hard to get those guys back up unless they start reporting that they have more hash rate coming on in 2022. As I believe hash rate is basically king in the grand scheme of things when it comes to investors investing in Bitcoin mining. Companies are looking for companies that are going to have huge growth this year. But other than that, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below on all of this. Love to hear your guys' comments. Thank you so much for watching. As always, it means the world to me. And then if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the like button and the notification bell. Helps me out. And that's all I ask from you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. And I'll see you in the next one, probably tomorrow. Maybe we'll start getting some news on the Bitcoin miners production for January. And then we'll update the numbers and take a look at those, see how those all play out. All right, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks so much again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye.